Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk, Thinking Right, out here in the lab. Okay, I'm back in the book. You know how we do. Oh, but this is some good stuff here. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get this party started. I'm excited. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I greatly appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. I got you. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together, and I'll ask the question. Do you know you? You will when I get through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, they're spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. Appreciate you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my eye, be true. We're doing about the myth. I'm breaking it down for you. Now, once you get to understanding, I'm going to give you psychomythology. And we're going to talk about the keys to reading and how to understand the myths. Let's go. Should be fun. This is one of my spots I like to be in. Psychomythology. Mystical teachings holds that the essence of creation and therefore of each individual human being is a transcendental ability to what? Know thyself. It transcends the ordinary bounds of your mental perception and understanding, meaning you have to have knowledge of God to know God, not believing. However, all human experiences occur where? In the thought, in the mind, and through the mind, meaning it's all mental, like I told you. We're spiritual beings. Why are we here? To have the human experience. We're human beings with spirit inside us, so we're dual individuals, but we're here for the experience. What experience? To know thyself. I tell you that all the time. So therefore, your heart, the heart of all human experiences, be they painful or pleasurable, is still rooted in the mind. The purpose of the myth is to bridge the gap between what they call the limited human mind, conscious, with the all-conscious mind, the heart, of worldly level and that which transcends all your physicality, as well as what? The mind and the senses. The mind had to become married to what? The heart. Heart-mind coherence. Truth lies here. We can figure it out up there. That's the idea. Thus, your religious myths, again, they are just that. Religious myths, which will be our primary, here we go. That's why I'm like to tell you, I will focus on this volume. Why? Because it must be understood in the light of their psychological mindset and their mystical transcendent body, mind, and senses. You have to feed the mind, body, and soul. Simple. Educate the mind, work the body, and live and do the right thing for the soul. We will refer to this concept by a new term. You ready? Psychomythology. Teaching you how to think and understand the stories that's presented to you so you can comprehend them and implement them and use them to your benefit. If I'm telling you something that you don't understand, it's not going to be learned, not going to be comprehended. So it's good to have understanding. So that's why we give you the definitions and breakdown. So as we're talking about it, you'll understand. And not, well, I thought it meant this, I thought it meant that. I ain't asked you what you thought. I'm trying to teach you what you need to know. Moving on. So the term psycho, what that mean? I mean, I'm crazy. Close, but no cigar. Psycho, as it is used here, must be understood clearly, again, as far more than simple, that which simply that refers to the mind, mental, mind, psycho, okay, psychology, all that's dealing with the mind and your worldly senses. The term psycho must be understood to mean everything that constitute your human consciousness. Anything that's mental is psycho. Not that you're psychotic or whatever, but that's just means the mind. Psycho means dealing with the conscious in all of its stages. Remember, there's 3 stages to the mind. But most importantly, your subconscious and your unconscious levels of the mind. Subconscious runs the body. Unconscious is when you sleep. Now, mythology here refers to the study of codes, messages, ideas, derivatives, stories, cultures, and belief, etc. It's the learning process. And like Malcolm tell you, I'm trying to get you to know you by any means necessary, and I'm using everything at my disposal. That's what it means. And it's all, remember, psychological. You have to be able to understand it. And when you do that, that affects your personality. Now, through what? Conscious, subconscious, and your unconscious aspects of you, the individual, specifically what? Those who affects, which results in psycho-spiritual transformation. You become enlightened with what? Knowledge, self-knowledge that you manifest for yourself, and you became enlightened to know yourself. Trying to make it simple as best I can. And that is what they call transpersonal or transcendental change in what? Your personality. That's what changes the way you think. And control the way you think, control the way you act. Of any individual. I told you, there's 9 billion people on earth. There's 9 billion ways to get to God. Every individual has that right. So don't get caught up thinking you God's chosen people. Moving on, okay? And it's available for all individuals, which leads to the discovery of the transcendental reality behind all existence. You know God for yourself. Damn what your brother, sister, mother, and cousin know. You need to know for yourself. Why? Because at Judgment Day, that's who got to be dealing with it. You. That's why. Well, she said, she said, like in court, inadmissible. At Judgment Day, inadmissible. So don't get caught up in it. That's not an excuse. All right. Now, a myth. We broke it down before. Some people think it's a lie. Some people it's mixed in with the truth. All that. But a myth is a way of explaining something that's hard to explain. I don't use mythology in my right thinking philosophy. Why? I use my life experience. And got to be a myth. That's real. That's what makes it right thinking philosophy. Understand how to get that in. Now, a myth should never be misunderstood and taken literally. Even though some of its origins may have involved actual events, historical places, or actions. Otherwise, one will really miss what? The transcendental message, the esoteric, the hidden message in the story that's being told to you, aka the myth, being related through a metaphor. You got played that too. I got that down here. I think I did that in the last lesson. Okay, but this would be like, understand this right here, like going to a theater to see a fictional movie or reading a fantasy novel book and believing that it literally happened. It's real. That's not too smart, and believing it to be real. If you're a little child, your distinction between real and not real gets skewed. Okay, but after 7, you pretty much can comprehend real from unreal, what is what ain't. So you should be able to distinguish that in your own life. But however, just like as in a movie or even the novel may be based on an unreal events and yet carry what? An important message. Ding, 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 right there. The Bible is just that, a book of instruction to keep you in understanding how what to live before leaving earth. Why? If you don't live right, you'll come back. That's why. No matter what religion you practice, reincarnation is part of it. And it gives you an important message, which, watch this, which is imparted, meaning given to you through a medium of actors. When I see Denzel Washington, when I hear about Malcolm X, because I saw him in the movie screen, I put the face to Denzel. So I see Malcolm for real. I said, oh, he doesn't even look alike. But in your mind, because you see the movies, you see Denzel as Malcolm X. See how that go? It's psychological. We all fall victim of it. It's okay. That's just the way it is. But you have to be the deciding factor to know what it is and ain't. Okay? Denzel is the actor playing Malcolm. Malcolm is the man who they killed a long time ago. So all we got is old tapes and voices. But we show him in the movie. First thing everybody relate to, what? Denzel. Moving on. So yeah. But it's a plot. It's teaching you with the actors to show you a plot and so on. Either mystical, myth, and are not to be really understood as being completely what? Baseless, just false. No, it's to try to make a point. Nor as having been put together purely for entertainment. Hollywood is purely for entertainment. It ain't for education. It's entertainment. They make money. What? Selling ideas, dreams, and whatever else they do there. Okay? Or as a primitive, what? Mumbo jumbo. Myths, when told, constitute a symbolic language that speaks to the people in a psycho-symbolic way. We understand the message. We understand the conversation. We understand what's going on. That's why. And it's satisfying what their conscious need for what? Mental stimulation. That's entertainment. I like watching stuff that give me information. Sometimes come out what, but I don't watch just nonsense, I call it, so I get it. But also affecting what? The subconscious and your unconscious mind as it needs to what? It needs for spiritual evolution. You need to be growing spiritually and mentally. That means if you study, you're learning, you're living, you're growing. If you're not studying, you're going to live. You ain't learning, you're still going to live. You just won't grow. Stunt your growth by what? By not putting the things together for you to grow. Study daily to grow what? Intellectually. Live right to what? Earn the blessings. That's all you have to do. And it's all psychological. And the psychological language that is spoken is in myths. From religion to anything else. And it's what can lead what the people who follow it, study it, to what? To understanding and having their own experience of what they call the transcendental by learning the truth of existence. To know thyself, to know you and God are one. The same thing out there is in you. The same who created this is in you, which cannot be easily expressed with words. So they're telling you, we got to tell you the stories. Hopefully you get the concept. Hopefully the message will be understood. And now, once you get the story, that's the myth. The ritual is implement what you learn about the myth. Become that person. Myths, understand this, is the first stage of religion. I told you, it's elementary. It's just the beginning. And the reenactment of that myth is what constitutes, they feel, is the second level of religious practice. First is the myth. Second is the practice. I just told you that. Sorry. But this is how it's done. Don't care what religion you practice. There's three things you need to understand. The myth, practice the ritual, and you will have that experience. If you put the time work into doing it, you will have your mystical experience. You become what? Enlightened, anointed, born again, whatever you want to do, Christhood, go Christ conscious, whatever you call it. But the idea is you have to achieve it for yourself. Moving on. All right. I can talk till I get blue in the face, tell you about how I did it. That's gonna do anything for you? But if I give you the blueprint how you can do it, now we talking. That's what I'm here for. I do what I do for you. Myths constitute the heart and soul of rituals to get you started. Again, elementary, just to get you started. Now, the myth is a mystical language. For what? For transmitting and teaching principles, philosophies of life and of creation. Theology, okay? Mythology. That's giving you a story to try to explain something that's hard to explain. Again, we wasn't there in the beginning, but everybody tell you in the beginning. It's a principle of philosophy. Now, in the rituals are the medium through which what? The myth or practice. Again, right there. You have to implement what you learn to see if what they're telling you is true or right or wrong. You can find out by manifesting yourself. And it have to be lived to be realized. I like to drop the pen on that one because I've been trying to get that point across to you. You have to live it. You have to become it. The study of any religious mythical story is important in order for you to gain what? They tell you, insight into your psychomythology. If you're a Christian, you believe what they tell you about Christianity. If you're Muslim, you believe and follow everything they said. Come on, man, that's too easy. There's nothing wrong with none of that. If that's what you follow, all you gotta do is be your best at it, and you'll be rewarded for that. Simple as that. Not cause of that, but the action that you put in will get you benefits and blessings. And everybody profess the same thing. And those who do it right, get just what they say. Blessed. Those who don't. And they teach you, give you insight into your mental understanding of the stories or psychological implications of myth for what? For your spiritual transformation of the individual, which leads you to, you ready? Attainment of spiritual enlightenment. Knowledge of self, know thyself, what do you call it? Christhood. Again, you have to be taught, you have to learn, and you have to put the work in order to reach that. That's why. And enlightenment, what? It implies what? That you have the attainment of an expanded state of consciousness. You're smarter than you was. Why? You have knowledge now. What? Of self. And it's termed as awet. A-W-E-T, ab. Know what that means? Dilation or expansion of one's heart. Of the ancient Egyptian mystical philosophy. Everything they knew came from the heart. That's why Judgment Day, they judge you by the contents of your heart. If it's light as a feather, you good. If it's heavy with nonsense, you fail. Simple as that. And that was the whole purpose of teaching you what? How to pass. Basic instruction before leaving Earth. We got better than that. We got coming forth by day. When you go into the darkness of death, you're going to come forth to light. Why? Because you know thyself. You know you and God are one, and you're going to rise up. That was the concept. It's still there. They just worded different. It's all the same thing. It ain't changed since the beginning. Truth don't change. Truth don't need to be dressed up. Truth don't need to be watered down. Truth don't need nothing except to be what? Experienced. That's how it's done. And which there is what? Now you have a full, perfect awareness of what? One's existence in the physical form, which goes beyond your mind and body. Okay? Thus, when you delve into a myth, you're doing it for a reason and a purpose. You must expect more than just the damn entertainment of a good story. What's the purpose? I love the Greek mythology. Why? Because it was all about the plot, all about getting the message, all about the story. So I learned that a long time ago. I ask people, we go to the movie. Well, okay, the movie, we sit there an hour and a half, 2 hours, watch the movie. Well, what was the plot? Well, what the hell would you... That drives me crazy. But yeah, some people don't have comprehension skills or level to really understand, so it need to be broken down. It's not a problem. But you should be equipped, there you go, with your own understanding, with the knowledge which will allow you, the individual, to what? To decipher, to be able to discern, to understand, comprehend the hidden meanings that's in the story so that you may also begin to experience and live the benefits from them on a personal level. In essence, you have to live the myth. You have to experience it for yourself. You share, me and my pastor share blessings. Why? He living his life, I'm living mine. But if you live it the right way, we have blessings on the other side. That's what it's all about. And if you're not being blessed, you're not living right. Moving on. Simply that. I don't give a damn about your religion. Now, spiritual level of, in essence, you attain what? Enlightenment. That means you learned something. That means you got knowledge and understanding of something, aka oneself and God. Only then will you, the person, the individual, will be able to now engender what? A real transformation from within, from yourself in your own life, which now will what? Lead you to ready. You ready? To true fulfillment. Hotep. Peace within oneself. Blissed out. That feeling you get when you and Christ become one. Whatever you call it, when you had experience, that's what it's all about. And every individual has to have it for themselves. And when it happens, as well as what you have total, what they call contentment. Contentment, I don't need for nothing. I don't want for nothing. To be content in life, meaning all your bills is paid, everything, you got no problem. That's contentment. But contentment in spirituality, means you're at peace with yourself. Not dead while you're alive. This is the third level of the religious or the third degree of Masonic order, mastering of oneself. You have to put the work in and pass each degree successfully. And by doing this, this is the third level of religious practice. The mystical, or they call the metaphysical level, or the mystical experience. It's always having that experience. Now let's talk about the keys to reading and understanding the myth. Oh, I could read, I could read. Some people don't know how to learn. They're too busy thoughting. Thought means you didn't know. Stop thoughting. Get information, pay attention, and now you can know. Moving on. The keys to reading and understand the myth. Religion without a myth not only fails to work. What you mean? No, religion full of myths. It also fails to offer, watch this, man the promise of what? Unity with the transpersonal and eternal. The myths is to get you to that level mentally, for you to experience it for yourself. Religion is to do just the same thing. It falls way short. Why? Because the perpetrators are incorrect understanding and then the manipulation of it for this and not the rewards of becoming enlightened or connected with Christ, as y'all say it. Y'all don't care if they connected. Y'all want their money. Moving on, it's a business. Now, let's talk about, that was by C.J. Jung, okay? The psychiatry man. From 1875, he died in 1961, okay? He took all Egyptian philosophies and modernized it. I give him credit for that. He did Ted Turner of Egyptian philosophy. I read this stuff. I know this stuff. I know where he got it from. I ain't got a problem with that. He just modernized it and made a bunch of money. He didn't change nothing. I respect that. Moving on. Let's talk about key number one. Myths, religious, mystical, are relevant to our lives in the present. This book been around for only 2,000 years. The Bible ain't that old. The Medjugorje, way older. The hieroglyphs, a lot older. Okay? Book was coming forth by day, even older. So the Bible is what we think is the whole Lord. Moving on. Let's talk about the myths. Right. The first and the most important key to understanding a myth is what? Being able to comprehend the damn myth. Is not talking about some ancient personality or just a story which occurred a long time ago and which has no relevancy to the present poppycock. In fact, the myth is speaking about you. That book that y'all so love, the Bible, is about y'all. Y'all don't have a clue. That's what scares me. Everybody know that book, love the book, don't have a clue what the hell it is, but they love it. Calm down. In fact, the myth is speaking about you. Understand that. I'm always speaking about you. It is a story about human life. That's why the Haru story is the fact of life with all the twists and turns, all the ups and downs and ins and outs about life. Why? They lived it. Its origins, its destiny, its plight, and the correct action. Mayat gives you everything you need to get you to the next level, aka the afterlife. That's what they live for. That's what they practiced for thousands of years and lived in harmony doing so. In the present, which is based on the same principles. I tell you, the truth ain't changed. My yacht still my yacht. I practice it. The same practice of my yacht 5,000 years ago, BCE, is what I practice today. And I'm smacking y'all around with whatever y'all got going. Could care less. Okay? I'm good with mine. All right? Like the 6-shooter. Oh, I'm quick on the draw. I'm real fast on the thought and having knowledge. So that understanding why. What we had. Okay. Now, in everything in the present, which is based on the same principle. Again, principles don't change. Truth don't change. That's why I started stimming. And for the past, and for leading you to what truly a successful life. There's a blueprint laid out for you. They lived it and it worked for them. I'm practicing it. It's working for me. So I know it still works. Watch this. Now for a truly successful life, which paves the way for what? Self or spiritual enlightenment, and that leads to true happiness. I got more. That's just the first one. I'm looking at the clock. I'm going. Let's go. K. Dot, we gonna do it? Yep, that's right. Key number 2. This is getting good. Hope you enjoyed it. The myth is a journey of spiritual transformation. The hero's journey, what my man Joseph Campbell is good at, taking you life's ups and downs, giving you all the myth that shows you how to learn life's journey. The second key is to understanding the myth and comprehending that it is usually written in the form of a journey in which the subject, aka you, must learn about who? Him or herself. And now you're able to what? Transcend what? From the ordinary human ignorance of just thinking I'm human, I'm just, to what? Becoming conscious of what? Thyself, and thereby discovering a greater essence of yourself. You made the connection. You become one with your higher self. In this movement, there is what they call life experiences of what? Happiness, up, sorrow, down, struggle, more, and learning. Bring you back up. It is a movement. Okay? I tell you that. Why? It ain't always, but once you get good at it, you smooth it out. That's the key. Flatline it. Keep it smooth. The roller coaster is a serpent. Now you want to smooth it out. And that's what learning about yourself. Now it is a movement. Watch this. What's the movement? It's the movement from ignorance, okay, and darkness to what? Light, wisdom, and ultimately to spiritual enlightenment. I got to pick it up again. I'm not done. I got 2 more. Don't worry. I'm going to get them in. Sorry about that. Slow down. Calm down. I got this. Key number 4. Let's give me number 3. Key number 3. I got 4 keys. I have one more for you. This is the myth are to be lived. I got to make that point known. Say it again. The myth are to be lived. What? In order to fully understand their true meaning. They're telling you for a reason. And if you practice it, you'll know the meaning for real for yourself. So to you, it's not a myth. It's a lesson that will teach you how to be what? You. Moving on. This whole thing is about you. The third key to understanding a myth is that comprehension is a must, and it comes from only living the myth, not intellectually understanding it. No, it means nothing. Live it. Living a myth does not mean what? Simply reading the myth or having in your mind what you think. No, it's being able to what? Recount the events with perfect memory, or simply practicing the ritual of the myth. I call it mayat. I do it every day. And you do it without a deeper understanding of their implications and purpose until you what? Live it. Now it makes sense. That light going, eureka, I got it. What's this? Now, if the practice is not, now, it simply means making what? The essence of these teachings that you're being taught through myth, that's being conveyed through the myth by like this, in an integral part of your life. Practice it. If this practice is not implemented, when daily, what happened? The teachings, the myth, the remains, and what? At the intellectual level. You know it. You understand it. You comprehend it. But, and the deeper truths of that myth are not revealed. Why? Because one lives with what? Dry intellectualism or blind faith. The former leading to a superficial what? And therefore understanding leads to frustration, spiritual lifestyle. You wonder why you ain't getting the benefit, why you ain't getting blessings. You're not living the way they're trying to explain to you to do. I said you ain't getting blessed, you ain't living right. God don't give a crap about your religion. He cares about your deeds. And if your deeds ain't up to snuff, that's on you. Now, watch this. If you're frustrated in the spiritual life, and the latter, you leads to what? Dogmatism. I mean, every Christian could tell you about every verse in the Bible, but don't live none of it. And that becomes dogmatism and emotional frustration. If you don't side with them, they get all hell bent out of shape, and they get really damn, okay, that ain't my thing, that's yours. I can care less about that. So therefore, you must learn how to resolve and to discover what? The myth in every facet of your life. Make it work for you. And in so doing, what happened? You will be triumphant as what? The hero in the mirror. You become your own hero. Save yourself. I got one more key and I'm taking it home. The key number 4, myth points the way to victory in life. The storyteller is giving you a breakdown of what you need to do. I love David and Goliath. Why? Because David wasn't scared of Goliath. Everybody else was. That's the myth. The story gets me excited. I understand the symbolism behind it. Moving on. They still think David fighting the giant. No, that's you fighting your own ego self that you done blew up and got you all scared. Moving on. Myths are a way to show us our heritage as a culture, as well as the legacy we are to receive. They give human beings a place in the scheme of things, as well as a purpose in life and the means to achieve what? The fulfillment of that purpose. Again, we're here to what? Become knowledgeable self before the spirit can go home. The ultimate purpose is to achieve, ready? Victory in the battle of life. What I just told you. To defeat what? The evil forces of ignorance, your ego within oneself. Hello, which leads to adversities and frustrations, and thereby what? Becoming masters of life here and even in the hereafter by discovering the undifferentiated peace, love, and joy, aka self-enlightenment. God is a metaphor. This is what man Joseph Campbell says. Break it down right quick. This I'm closing out. God is just a metaphor for what? A mystery that transcends all human categories of thought. It depends on how much you want to think about it, whether or not it's doing you any good, whether it's putting you in touch with the mystery, which is the ground of all our being. With God, are you finding God for yourself? That's Joseph Campbell. Thus, when they're comparing the myths, a different culture for the purpose of religious studies, it is necessary to get a full understanding of their respective metaphorical aspect. Know what the Christians talk about, know what the Muslims talk about, know what the Jews talk about before you say anything about what it is they're doing. How about that? I get that, understand, taking it home. Now, better understand with respect the metaphorical aspects as well as their attendant underlying philosophies, along with their apparent iconographical form and artistic intent, naturalistic or stylized way to tell stories to get to God. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. No, it took a little long, but I had to get that on in. Thought it was a good one. I want to separate it. I hope you got it all. Hope you enjoyed it. And in closing, right thinkers, may y'all let it be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never let my right thinkers was passed away. If you do it right, you know the deal. I'm out. I'll be back. Oh, I got more. It's called Other Aspects of Myths. I ain't done.